in your eyes. Ooh, I do love Virginia, and nothing will ever change my mind. Ooh, I do love Virginia. I will never leave this place behind. I will never leave this place behind. Every time I think life is passing me by, I see that old man standing in the grass with nothing but the sun, the day and the light, and the joy of living right here in the past. Far as I see, the South speaks and I listen, old as time and new as the dawn. Song of the peepers and the whippoorwill calling. Times may be changing, but the spirit lives on. Ooh, I do love Virginia, and nothing will ever change my mind. Ooh, I do love Virginia. I will never leave this place behind. I will never leave this place behind.
Hi, everybody. Well, you just heard the emotional. I have to say emotional. That made me so emotional.
Me too.
Tunes of Kid Pan Alley. Paul Reisler and Terri Allard, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
You are my new favorite organization.
That was beautiful, you guys. Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Pitter patter.
And now, if I'm not mistaken, fourth graders wrote that song.
Right.
Tell us how that works.
Tell us your mission.
Well, our mission is to basically inspire kids to be creators of their own music. And one of the things I found through this Kid Pan Alley is that kids make the most incredible co-writers. I've written about 1,700 songs with about 30,000 children now.
Oh, wow.
And you could never do that with professional adult songwriters. You know, they need a coffee break every 5 minutes and all of the other things that you need. But with the kids, they're so excited. And it really taps into what kids are greatest at, which is imagination.
That is just wonderful.
They don't edit.
No?
Young people don't edit. They just let it roll, and so
They're free.
all these fabulous ideas, and they just right here make a song with all my fabulous ideas, and that's what you do.
And they all work together as a group.
Yeah, it's a group process. We basically walk in and say, "What do you want to write about today?" That particular song came as I was driving down to the school, and we saw Jimmy out there, the guy who sits by in North Garden, waving at everybody on Route 29, and said, this was at Ty River, and what's with him? And they said, oh yeah, that's Jimmy. And we started talking about what his life might be like, just standing out there trying to make people happy, waving at them all day long with this big, beautiful smile on your face.
That's just so wonderful. So you tend to come up with some of the ideas. You just sort of trying to throw some.
No, I try and get
sparks?
the ideas. All the ideas come from the kids. We get. What do you want to write about today? We make a list up on the board of the things they might want to write about. We vote on it. Then we start brainstorming, and we try and get pretty much everything as much as we can up there through the brainstorming, and then hopefully we can see a little bit the direction it's going in and kind of nudge them. But I really try and get it from the children, and we also get the melody from them. So we'll write a section.
Really?
We'll write a section of song or a verse or a chorus, and I'll say, well, who can sing that first line? And somebody will sing it, and Terri will kind of pick it up from them, and I'll set it right there in the moment to the chords, and we kind of go through it one line at a time. Because a melody is like a walk up in the mountains. You know, it's one foot in front of the other. Some of the notes go up, some of them go down, some of them go along level, and we just basically build the melody that way, and I work at the harmonization right there on the spot.
And it's an opportunity to talk to the kids about melody too. Oftentimes children will just speak it, and so then Paul will explain what a melody is, and then they build from there, and it gives the child an opportunity to really come up with something and then know the difference. Oh, this is where I started, this is where I went. And you will get children who are just musical. And I'll never forget a little girl in Greene County who, we were writing this song about blue fly butterflies, and Paul said, do you have a melody? And she goes, have you ever seen a blue fly butterfly floated by? Oh my, I wonder who it was that painted that butterfly. Oh my.
You're kidding me.
We were just standing there going,
Okay.
okay.
That's unbelievable.
But another child might start somewhat monotone and suddenly, come much closer to the blue fly butterfly.
And might that come from just a child sort of starting out slowly, comes from fear or just trying something new for the first time before they sort of open their spirit?
Yeah, definitely. And then, which makes it so lovely when they get there and they have this really great melody, and you just look at the child and you say, this is fabulous, and But it's true, yeah. It's the opportunity to be heard, and to feel safe being heard. And once the child feels safe being heard, it's amazing.
That's key.
Are these kids musically inclined already, or probably everybody is to a certain extent?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Terry. Okay. We don't select special kids because often the kids who do the greatest in Kid Pan Alley are the kids who have not done well in school. And if you let the school select the best ones, the kids who have their one opportunity to shine in something that they might never have done before are lost to that. So we really basically go in and we'll work across the school with 9 classes every week.
And it's wonderful. Teachers often are in the classroom with us. We love it when they're in there for many different reasons. But one is that sometimes it is the first opportunity that someone has to see a child in a completely different light.
Yes.
And it's quite amazing. And I think that I have friends who are teachers who've said that it gave them an opportunity to figure out a new way to approach the child. I had one friend who was a teacher who was just banging heads with this child in the beginning of the year, and then she watched him in the program, and she said, I know how to talk to you now.
I needed Kid Pan Alley.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So we all did. Yeah. How different it would have been if when we were 8 years old, we wrote our first song and Amy Grant recorded it. It would have, changed
but
it.
you love that part. But what changed? What I love is the classroom. What I love is the process and the opportunity for the children to really express themselves, and as you asked, to work as a group. Mm-hmm. Because I think that's one of the most important lessons that we all need in life. And if we can instill that in children when they're young, we have to work together. We really have to work as a team on this planet.
They'll never, ever forget that. They'll never forget it.
But let's talk about that a little bit, because you call them residencies. Yeah. We have so many questions for you. I feel like we've just sort of jumped over how it all starts. So let's go back to, you are a musician. Were you a professional musician?
Yes.
Tell us the path.
Okay. Well,
what inspired you?
I've been a professional musician all my life, or actually somewhat by luck. I started a band called Trapezoid back in 1975 with a couple other friends, and we got a record contract at our first gig, and so all of a sudden I was a professional musician, in quotes. And we toured around, made a record, did a couple hundred concerts a year at times over about 25 years. But I'd always written songs back when I was a child. I'd started when I was 5, and then I had this long period where I didn't write. But songwriting was, I think, the thing that spoke to me most. So Kid Pan Alley just started by accident. It was one of these things. A friend of mine was putting together a 3-week-long residency. I live in Rappahannock County in Little Washington, in the public school, and it was interdisciplinary with a visual artist. She was a choreographer, and she wanted someone to write songs with the kids. And I'd never written songs with kids before, but I had written a lot of songs, and I've taught a lot of professional and semi-professional songwriters. So I did it, and the first day we wrote 6 songs.
Wow!
And it was just took off from that moment.
And Kid Pan Alley was born.
Yeah.
And how long ago was that?
That was 11 years ago.
So you go into the schools, you work with the kids over how long? How long is the period?
So we're there for a week in each school. We are with each class for 2 45-minute sessions to write their song. Then we have a rehearsal with them on Friday, then we have a concert in the afternoon, and an evening concert for the community. So we have a fair amount of time with the kids, but the writing is actually 90 minutes plus whatever spare change we can squeeze in.
Yeah.
And then occasionally post-production with a celebrity, like an established singer like Sissy Spacek, Cracker.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had some really amazing people
we have.
record these kids' songs.
Yeah.
In fact, that first song, the song we sang, "I Do Love Virginia," Sissy was the one who sang that on the record, and we did orchestral arrangements of it, and the Charlottesville High School Orchestra was the string section.
And they're
for it.
amazing. I mean, they're really amazing. So.
It's phenomenal. I really absolutely love what you're both doing, and I have so many questions, and we're running out of time, so I'm going to wrap it up and just ask quickly. If someone in the other side of the country wanted to do this, is there a franchise, or would you travel to that part of the country to do this?
I pretty much travel all over the place to do it, but we've also trained some other people in different parts of the country, and we're always open to that, but we don't consider it a franchise. It's not like, opening a fast food restaurant and you follow these steps. The only step is you have to be completely in the moment and make it up as you go along and be really loopy.
Yeah, and I would imagine that a lot of it is you too, Paul. It's a very special organization.
Oh, thank you.
It really is.
So if there's a teacher here who is listening to this and says, wow, that sounds fantastic, they're going to be able to get in touch with you.
Yes, tell us how. Website, telephone numbers.
www.kidpanalley.org. Really, everything you need to know is there, and ways to who to contact, who to call, questions.
And you also work with the elderly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about a few years back, we developed an intergenerational Kid Pan Alley program, and it was inspired actually by Gordon Walker from the Jefferson Area Board on Aging. And he and I and Terri were talking one day, and he said, I'd really like to have a program for seniors where they're part of the community. Is there something we could do instead of you coming up and doing a concert for them? Let's bring them together. So we came up with this idea of the elders come in and they tell stories to the kids about what it was like to grow up in the area. And then the kids write songs about that experience, about the experience of the elders. Then we take the kids up to the nursing home or to the senior center, and they talk about what it's like to live there now, and the seniors write songs about that. So it's a really interesting connection. It takes the seniors who have stories that they need to tell, that they want to tell, and that really inform the kids.
Wonderful.
I love that.
That's
I love that.
really,
But you can find out everything you need to know at www.kidpanalley.org, and you really want to see this website. It tugged at my heartstrings.
Yeah.
It's been so wonderful to have you both, Paul Reisler
Thank you
and
so
Terri
much, you guys.
Allard, and we'll have you back too to sing some of your own songs soon, Terri. So stay tuned. We've got Bree Luck coming in from the Voice Project and the Education Director of Live Arts. So we'll see you soon.